Madhouse Podcasting Network.
All right, well, let's do this then. Let's get it started.
Rock and roll.
Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. All right, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of Behind the Mask. Today's guest is the one and only Chase from Not Scary Farm, a.k.a. The Mummy, right?
For sure.
The Mummy.
GTS Mummy, yeah.
GTS
yeah.
Mummy. Dude, how are you?
I'm good, man. Thank you guys for having me on. This is awesome. It's a pleasure. Actually, an honor with two of the vets that I started working with when I, started at Not Scary Farm. You guys were young bucks at the time.
Yeah.
We were.
It's cool to, be able to talk to you guys and, especially with all the experience that you guys had in the new age, how it changed into something else. So, I'm doing good. Baby's doing good.
Nice.
Going on 3 months.
Wow, man.
He's having a little trouble sleeping right now, but I think he's going through another little growth spurt. But he is growing like a weed.
Yeah, man.
Big.
Yeah. Next thing you know, he'll be running around pulling everything off the shelves and
smacking his head on that corner of tables.
Yep.
So I'm putting all my collectibles taller than me high.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I had to build all these new shelves, and because in order for me to let my kids come in here, man, it's like they grab everything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
Other than that, doing well.
Good, man. Good. Well, I want to thank you personally and for joining us because the honor is ours. We have a huge history with you as well, and you are still pretty much in the industry. You took 2021 off. This is obviously going to air later.
Yeah. No, I get
So
you.
you took 2021 off, so you're still pretty high in the industry right now and active, as well as Scott. And so the honor is ours to have you on for sure.
Thank you.
He's just Chase.
Yeah, it's just me.
Just Chase.
Just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's nothing.
Well,
We can already see how this podcast is going to go. It's going to go all over the place.
I know, right? We'll try and keep it organized. But, that's the whole purpose of this podcast is to, just shoot the shit like we would be if we were in a bar. Chilling, having a drink.
Having a beer. Yeah. Which reminds me, I might crack one open while we're doing this. But
you should, man.
Well,
do it.
Don't tell me.
That's funny. That's the one thing that we haven't done, Scott. We haven't actually enjoyed a beer while we did one of these.
I did.
You did win.
When we were doing Anthony and Sammy.
Okay, well.
I had it in my blender bottle to keep it cool.
There you go. That's probably why.
Incognito.
I know. Well, I'm the only loser that's not drinking.
All right, well, cheers to you.
Cheers, man.
What is that Michelob Ultra crap, dude?
It's actually Ultra Pure Gold.
Oh,
pure nasty.
I'm watching my figure, dude. Come on, I'm getting the dad bod going.
Yeah, that'll rapidly come.
Scott, I saw his face like really watching your figure.
Whatever, dude. You're still a cute.
That's funny.
I know.
Well, let's start from the beginning, dude. What made you go to Haunt? What made you audition, or if you had to audition, what made you apply to be a monster?
So a lot of people know me as Sequel out on the streets. A lot of us don't want to say our real names out there, so we don't get yelled at by strangers. But a lot of people think I have my Haunt name because I have a twin, right? And this is going to go a little off subject, but it's going to come back and you're going to understand why. Yes, I'm an identical twin brother, but everybody thinks Sequel because I'm a twin. But if that was the case, I wouldn't be the sequel. My brother would be the sequel because he came out second, right? But the reason why is my buddy Chase. I know I'm not talking about myself in the third person. I don't have an imaginary friend named Chase.
Culver.
Yeah, Chase Culver.
Chaser.
Yeah, Chaser. There you go. He was working at Chase and I go way back. I think he's my longest friend right now, except a friend from high school. But we worked many jobs together. We worked Chick Sporting Goods where I met him. We worked at Best Buy. We worked at Drama One that was in Anaheim for a little bit. We worked at Macaroni Grill together. Then all of a sudden, he's been doing this Haunt for 2 years now. And I used to go just as a fan. And I wasn't a Haunt fan at all. I just went to go hang out. It was just a thing to do when I was in high school, right? Oh, battery exhausted. What happened?
That's okay. He can still hear. He has issues with his battery.
What the
Oh, okay.
hell? No,
So
yeah, so he's just like, dude, just do it 1 year. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but it's a lot of fun. And I started in Blood Bayou. Actually, I didn't have to audition, which was kind of cool with Knott's. The mazes you don't have to audition for, and they kind of place you where they need you. But I started as a blackout, and they were full when I first came in. And for only 2 weeks, I was a blackout, and I was in a curtain scaring people. That wasn't supposed to, but back in the day, it was a little bit more lenient.
Yeah.
And I see Chase running by in the pig room all the time, and I've just seen how much fun he's having. And after 2 weeks, they asked me to be a monster, and I said, hell yes.
Nice.
I said,
In
hell
Blood
yes.
Bayou?
In Blood Bayou, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I was in the snake hallway. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and what's funny is listening to that soundtrack over and over and over. Like, it got to the point where you lose yourself in it because it's just that's all you hear. You can't even hear yourself think. And then that's how I got started. He drew me in, and then look at this. 17 years later, I'm still doing it. So, thanks to him, and I fell in love with the technically, I guess I could call it a sport, what we do now, but fell in love with the crowd too.
I always call it an art form.
There you go. Yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
More of an art form. You're right, because you have to like perform, and you're on stage, right? Technically.
Yeah. Theoretically.
But yeah, so that's how I got into it. Chase Culver got me in, and he retired after 10 years. He started having kids, and I just kept going. And like I said, this would have been my 17th year, but took the year off, 2021, because I'm having a kid, and hopefully to finish 2 more years next year.
Yep.
19. I think you should go to 20, dude.
I think so too. I really do, dude. If COVID didn't happen, I'd already be there.
Yeah.
I'd have 1 more year. You know what I mean? So it just kind of sucks. And with the kid, it's just harder.
Of course.
Scott, you don't have kids, but Jeremy knows.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do all that stuff. And I was trying to pull it off this year, and it would have been a lot more stress than I needed, and I didn't.
Well, let's be real, Chase. Dealing with all you guys is like having a bunch of kids.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, you had like hundreds of kids then.
So, okay, you started in Blood Bayou. Were you only in that for a year? Because I know your progress.
Yeah.
But why don't you talk a little bit about that from where you started and just kind of through the years, how you moved around?
Cool. Yeah. So I started in Blood Bayou, which I loved that maze. That maze, if I brought that back, it'd be a toss-up between that and Asylum. But I went from Blood Bayou to Hatchet High, which I hated. I don't know why I hated it. I loved the theme of it, walking through it, but I was one of the graduates in the back, and it was just boring. There's no music. There's no sound. You're just in this cap and gown, and the only thing you really could do back there is act like you're fake, sitting with all the rest of them, and that's how you got your scares, right? So it got to the point where that year I was venturing through the maze and kind of scaring a little bit forward in other rooms and coming back, But I went from there. That's the only year that I did not like Haunt. I'd met a lot of friends, like Gabe, R.I.P. him. That's where I met Gabe for the first time, is in Hatchet High. So I knew him. He's like one of my close friends when I first started Haunt, right? Like you guys, met you guys when I got into Streets 2 years later. Right. I met a lot of good people that are still my friends now and that have passed away from working that event. So I went from Hatchet High to Asylum, and I did Asylum 2 years.
Yeah.
And then from
Which
there,
was a killer maze.
Oh, I loved it, man. I got oh man, what was it? What was the
Golden Hunt Awards, weren't you?
Golden Hunt Awards.
Oh yeah, Gloating.
Yeah, Gloating. I got that fleece, dude. I just moved. I found that fleece that says Gloating on the front of it. Oh man, I still have it. But yeah, so I went into Asylum, loved the maze. Yeah, I was one of the patients. I started out with my own. That's where Jeremy actually made me his skull mask, which I still have to this day.
Yeah, the Eternal.
And it worked perfectly. I had the bloody bandage up top. I was just wearing black scrubs. Had some stuff hanging from my sleeves. Running around. I was in the long hallway before the patient room where all the beds were.
Right.
And man, it got to the point where I couldn't be in there anymore. Not because of the people and how small the place was. It was more about I needed to get out and do more.
Yeah.
Right.
You felt hemmed in.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when it got packed in there, you couldn't do anything. The only thing you do is stay up against the wall because it's just a small hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Conga line action. It doesn't. It stifles what you want to do.
Exactly. And it was. I think the hallway was just wide enough because they have to for a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Well, literally, it was small though. Like that wheelchair could bump back and forth if they clipped the walls, right? That's how small it was. So I started venturing out to the front on my first year, and I just started sliding because Chase taught me how to slide, right?
Yeah.
Go over to his head, grab some pads. He actually handed me down his pads, and my pads got handed down 2 more times after that, so they lasted a really long time. Yeah.
What kind of pads were you using?
They were scabs, Smith scabs.
Yeah, Smith. Yeah.
The original ones, the first ones that everybody was sliding on, and so he taught me how to slide. I went out front, and my talent captain at the time, he goes, "Hey, do you want to be the slider out front?" I was like, "Yeah, I would love to do that." And he goes, "No, you're rocking it out here. How about you just don't worry about going the hallway? We'll have the back room and the room in front of that, just kind of cover that because it does get pinched in there." And I go, "Thank you for noticing that because I couldn't do anything in there."
Yeah.
And they said, "All right, you can stay out front." And that's where I started sliding. That's where I really got into sliding. And
that's when weren't you sliding out there with Frank too, Galati?
Yes. Yeah. Frank was coming out there.
He had an ER face too.
Yes, he had an ER face. Yeah. He had the straight jacket. That asylum straight jacket on. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he was actually working the front. He was in the front room, so he'd come out there and slide with me.
Yeah.
So and then eventually it came out to being like there was 2 or 3 of us out there at one point. But that year is where I started meeting Glow and everybody, and those are longtime family friends that I've known ever since I started.
Yeah.
And then literally that next year, Chaser went out to streets to Ghost Town, and I was like, "Dang, dude! Like, I wanted to work with him. Didn't get a chance to work with him in Asylum because that first year I was in Asylum, he went to streets.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, you had to have 5 years of mazes, right?
Yeah.
Out on streets. And I, to be honest with you, I still wish they went back to that. At least 3 or 4 years of mazes just to find so people can find their characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it should be a base unless somebody has exceptional ability that they portray in an audition.
I agree 100%.
With a ton of potential,
Well, it also teaches you awareness too of the guest and teach you proper scares, because when you get just thrown out into the open, you don't have the knowledge of judgment when it comes to awareness, when it endanger scares and staying your distance and not just getting in their face because you're gonna get punched.
I agree with you 100%, because nowadays when I'm out there on the streets and we're doing this mentorship kind of deal, and I'll go back to my history, but I feel bad for a lot of the rookies that don't get the gas back next year because they're still trying to find their character even the last day of haunt, right? And what sucks is that's crucial because, all right, no, we're going to put you in a maze because you couldn't find it out here. And it's kind of like a tease for a lot of people. That's the spot where everybody wants to be.
Yep.
And I wish they kind of went back to, it's like, nope, you haven't worked haunt before unless you killed in your audition. But if you haven't worked haunt before, you need 3 years under your belt of mazes.
I agree.
Like minimum. So anyway, so the second year Asylum, got to know Jay. He's known as the farmer out on Ghost Town now. That's where I met all of them: France, Glow, Pasta, Garrett, dude, bro, Nelson, R.I.P. him.
Miss that guy.
Miss him tons, dude. I went to his grave the other day. It was awesome. I haven't been there ever since we put him in the ground, but
I can't get myself to go back.
It was hard. It was hard, but it was good to see Mike Lee. I usually talk to Mike Lee periodically throughout the year and hang out with him. We always go to Frankincense, but it was rough going there. It was hard to see his picture on the grave. And it was cool though. We hung out for about an hour or two, and we all went to go get lunch and talked good things about him. So so first year Asylum got the Golden Haunt Award. Awesome, right? First time doing it, sliding out front, they gave me the Golden Haunt Award. Second year, I got Golden Haunt Award again. So I got 2 years in a row Golden Haunt, and which is really cool. I know a lot of people that listen to this are probably gonna be like, "What's Golden Haunt Award?" A lot of it was back in the day. They had they took one person out of each maze and they gave them their own special banquet. So it was really cool. So it was 12 to 13 mazes. I think it was one or two people from each maze, and then I think it was like 2 or 3 people from each zone, and they had their own banquet. So how they had the Ghost Town banquet, CS banquet. This was all Golden Haunt Award banquets, so it was pretty cool.
Golden Haunt Award banquet was pretty cool.
It just felt like your hard work paid off. Right. Yeah. Instead of all
gets acknowledged.
Exactly. Right. And that's what was cool. So Craig at the time, the godfather of haunt there, and he was very strict about having 5 years unless you knew people, right? Unless the street monsters vouched for you.
Right.
And funny story, off subject, but I almost got fired my first year on streets, and I'll tell you that when we get to it.
Oh boy. Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah. So then I emailed Craig. I emailed Craig my third year in asylum when I got, or my third year in haunt when I got Golden Haunt Award, the first one, and I emailed him and said, "Hey, I got Golden Haunt Award. I'm not trying to make you put me out there. I'm requesting. I really think I can do some really good work out there." And it came down to being where he denied it, which is fine. I abide by the 5 years of being in mazes. And he says, unfortunately, I think you need one more year, or 2 more years. And I was like, cool. Nope, sounds good. I mean, getting any feedback from him was like the biggest thing ever because he did it since day one. He was a haunt monster himself. It was just like, the Catman, yeah. And it was just like how you remember you were our talent captain for a while, or Jeremy, when you guys were all working, giving pointers here and there on what to do. It was an honor because you guys knew a lot more than anybody else coming in there because you guys done it for so long, right? Since day one. I mean, you guys did it for so long that you know what works and what doesn't. Now things did change where they did expect us to do more, but it was cool getting feedback from him. So I took the next year, went back into asylum, got the Golden Hunt Award again, and I emailed him again. I said, "Hey, this is my second year going to Golden Hunt. Chase vouched for me. I think I forgot who else was out there, but somebody else vouched for me. It was what was her name? She passed away too.
Not Sandy. No, Sandy wasn't out there.
They were all in Blood Bay with me. Ian was in Blood Bay with me.
Oh, Esrin.
Esrin and Ian, both of them kind of vouched for me at that time. And Craig goes, all right, you got it. So I jumped out on first year of Ghost Town. I started in 2004, so 2008.
Yeah. 4 years. Yeah. So
8. Yeah. So 2008 was my first year in Ghost Town, and I've been there ever since, till this day. So give you a little background on that. But going back to the funny story where I almost got fired with Craig. Craig didn't know I had a twin brother. So I didn't know. And Chase and I are running around, and Chase slides up to Craig, goes, "What's up, Craig?" And this is where you were able to talk a little bit. Breaking character wasn't so strict.
Yeah.
He went and goes, "What's up, Craig?" And he goes, "Chaser, what? Why is Chase out of costume?" Because he saw me get ready. He saw me get ready, go out on the streets, right? And he goes, "What's he doing over there drinking a beer?" Oh my! And then all of a sudden, I slid up on the next side of Craig. I'm like, "What's up, Craig?" He goes, "You almost got fucking fired." And he walks off. He did not know I had a twin, so he thought I was like going out in the back, changing, coming back out, having a beer, going back and changing. Like he thought I was like being Superman, dude. Just
not
getting
that has happened.
Yeah.
It's happened. Yeah. Not for many of us, but it's happened.
Yeah. People
So
get out of character to go meet one of their friends and expect not to get fired.
Oh yeah, or go buy something, and it has to have black makeup on their face when they're walking around out there. You know what I mean?
That's the freaking best story ever.
Yeah. So I almost got fired by Craig. It was so funny. He just walked by. That's the first time Craig cussed too. I've never heard Craig cuss, and it's like, oh man, he must have felt like not embarrassed, but kind of like confused, embarrassed because
like what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. So 2008, first year of Ghost Town, been there ever since. Got makeup my second year on Ghost Town. And then
before that you had the DR face.
Yes, another one Jeremy made. Yeah, another one. It kind of reminded me of
with your whiskers.
Yeah, you tried giving me the hot name Leper. Remember that?
Me?
Yes. Remember they were trying to give me a hot name because I was out on the streets, and you tried giving me Leper because of leprosy. You thought my skin was peeling off.
That's right.
Yeah, you tried to give me that, and
it was sticking. That.
It was sticking for a little bit, and then Virus is the one that got it. He says, "Oh, why don't we just call you Sequel?" Because everybody was into movies, everybody's into theater, everybody's into all this, and and then they threw the joke at me, not better. The sequel's never better than the first one to Chaser. So, but Sequel stuck, and there was Chase 2.0. Yeah, there was C Squared. There was Chaser 2.
I was calling you.
I remember Chaser 2. I remember saying C Squared.
Somebody said, C Squared.
Well, actually, I was referring to a lot of people as Twin Chase. Because you had Chaser and then Twin Chase.
I was Twin Chase.
But it's funny.
Well, didn't you have a social media handle, Twin Chase, for a while?
I still do.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I still do. Yeah, even on Instagram and everything, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's right.
But it's funny because you and I never got to work together in Ghost Town.
Unless you came back that one year.
2015. Well, yeah.
2015.
Yeah.
Yeah, but back in the day, no, we did not.
It's so funny because I
we never
blocked
worked together
2015 out of my head. I don't know why. I just
It was
always
a bad
I
year?
forget. It wasn't that it was a bad year. It was just it just didn't go as planned. And it,
I'm fully available, and he works like less than half the run.
Well, not my
Fucker.
fault, man. Career comes first, bitch.
It's very true. Very true.
so,
All
yeah.
you young people out there, remember that.
Careers
Your
first.
career comes
man.
first. Haunt's always
Yeah.
going to be there.
Real life.
It's funny because, and I completely blocked it out of my head. But you're a big reason why I enjoyed more of 2015. So, but yeah, I just we never actually worked together though.
No, we always because I was running. I think I was a lone wolf still at that time. Like
Yeah.
after Chaser left, I was a lone wolf for a long time.
Yeah.
And then when everybody from Asylum finally got out on the streets, I started teaming up with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jeremy was working with Ron
Yeah.
Yeah.
in 2015.
So my second night or the third night, I think it was a Sunday. I don't remember but it was either the second or third night. All the veterans at that time, I guess you would say, invited me to go slide up at the front. Like they weren't allowing a lot of people to go slide at the front, so I thought that was cool. And then I hung out with James until Ron came, and then Ron and I ended up being like runners,
AKA Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz.
Another one had an ER face.
Yeah, we'll get him.
And then
one, too.
Lucky.
Yeah, you're right. And Blitz actually works with my brother at Costco now.
Oh,
Isn't that
dope.
crazy? Yeah, he works at Corona Costco with my brother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he just started there. I think end of last year or something. He got a job there. So
Good for him.
yeah, he's like, hey, your buddy James came up and said says what's up, and I'm like, James who? 'Cause I don't know.
You don't know
by
anybody?
their first names? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he goes, he works with you, this and that. And then I was like, oh, is he the one that wears my face that I had makeup when I had Lucky? And he does. He wears Lucky. So
Yeah.
Lucky gets
And it doesn't fit him.
yeah, it doesn't fit him at all. But it still looks good. He plays it very well.
He does.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, Blitz. And he goes, yeah, that's his haunt name. I didn't remember. I was like, oh, yeah, tell him I said, what's up, dude? Like,
Nice.
yeah, it's just small world. Small world. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's how I got on the streets. And, dude, I love every day of it. If people ask me, would you go to any other street zone? I say no. First year on streets, this is where I'm going to stay. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it's where it all started, Ghost Town, right? And that's why I love the nostalgic of it.
Oh yeah, because it's just eerie in itself.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's the first of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
In the industry. So
Yeah.
that has meaning for us old school people.
Yeah, and I love the Western era. Like
That's
video.
exactly my reason.
Yeah, video game status. I love Red Dead Redemption, right? Just because you get lost in that world, old school, riding on a horse, shooting a 6-shooter, like it's awesome. And I almost became a bandit too one year. But
So, I mean, to add on top of that, though, for the viewers and for the youngsters and for the people that are like want to work Scary Farm or any event, yes, Ghost Town is the pinnacle of haunt of Scary Farm,
Yeah.
and it is amazing to work there. But if you don't get Ghost Town, you work it. You work wherever you go.
oh
Yeah, that's the key.
Because the
Yeah.
bottom line is yes, we love working that zone because we all have nostalgic reasons behind it, and that's where we've all been placed. But the bottom line is if you're a good monster, you can work anywhere.
Yeah.
This is where
Camp Snoopy, anywhere, Boardwalk.
This is where I tell a lot of rookies and a lot of people that ask me when they come from mazes or they're in mazes, like, hey, you've been out there for so long, how do I get on the streets?
Yeah.
And I go, well, where do you want to be? I want to be in Ghost Town. I was like, well, you and everybody else, because a lot of people do want to be on Ghost Town.
Yeah.
I go, don't let that discourage you though,
Yeah.
because how many years have you been doing this? Oh, 2. So what's stopping you from going on the streets? I'm just nervous when I go into that audition.
They freeze.
Here's your thing.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I always tell a lot of people this, and I always try to get in the top group or the first group that goes into auditions, or the top 5 groups that go into auditions first. I go, they are going to have a long day, and they're going to see people come in there that haven't set the bar yet. You get in there first, it's going to be a little bit easier. Throughout the day, they're going to see these people that they expect or that they see. They're raising that bar higher and higher. When you go in there at the end of the day, they've already, for one, they're tired. 2, they're probably hangry. 3, that bar is set pretty high. Good luck.
Right.
Yeah. And by that time too, most of the positions, there's maybe like 3 left at that time.
Exactly. And they're already filled. So I say, if you don't get into Ghost Town, you do get into a street zone, take it.
Yeah.
Always take it.
Yeah.
Even if you get put back in another maze, the reason why they're putting you in this character or in a certain place is because they think you can do better there. Take that as a compliment.
Right.
Take that as a compliment and take that year and learn. If you don't get on streets, try it again next year. Don't ever give up. But when you go into that street zone, if you don't get Ghost Town, you work that street zone like you've been there for years. Make it, and I hate to say it, make it your bitch. Because because you do good there and you want to come to Ghost Town. If you do so well that they know who you are and you left a staple or a stamp, now it might hurt you in the long run. You might be too good. They might keep you there.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to transfer. That's your way in.
Yep.
Is just take it. Don't get discouraged by it.
It's
Like all these
hard
people
work.
nowadays, who get discouraged by getting put in different zones.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, no, take it as a compliment because they know that you can do better over here, or they need you. They need your talent in these zones.
That's funny because I was talking to somebody, one of the guys. I don't remember his name, and I'm not going to try and have Scott tell me what his name is. He got it was at Spirit Awakens, and he was telling me he got Carnival or Boardwalk or whatever, and he was like, yeah, I really wanted Ghost Town. And I'm like, it's all right, dude. Your streets.
Yep.
He goes, one, it's better than mazes, tenfold, but two, it doesn't matter. You know, you go out there,
Get your feet wet.
you freaking kill it, you do your job, and you have fun. You still, I mean, there's not
Still
a lot
fun.
of dark areas, but use that to your advantage. At that point, use the crowd as your dark area.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to
Be their shadow.
Yeah, you don't need dark, foggy areas to get a scare.
No.
Doesn't matter, man. You gotta learn how to work the crowd and do it. If you can scare in broad daylight, you can scare in Boardwalk.
Yeah.
You know, that's
The
always,
thing is, too, is that no matter how you shake it, all the top talent aren't in Ghost Town.
No,
no,
not at all.
no.
You know, I
Not at all.
mean,
No, there's some mazes.
there's so much good talent out there across the board, not just streets, everywhere.
Yep.
I
You
tell a
know?
lot of people this too. Is like there's some good talent in mazes, and they love to stay in mazes.
Yeah.
That's their vibe.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
if you find that where say next year you're like, you know what, I don't need to go on streets. I love going to a different maze and doing a different character and learning more.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like mine was Blood Bayou, Hatcha High, and then 2 Years of Time. Those are all 3 different characters. Right.
Yeah.
All 3 different, and it helped. Right.
Yeah.
And then going out to Ghost Town back in the day with all you guys giving us pointers and this and that, it helped out a lot too. And that's what we do.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
always take it as take it as your learning experience for one. Don't get disrespected or don't disrespect anybody else and get mad over it, right?
Right.
But take it as more tools in your toolbox.
Right.
That's what I say to a lot of rookies and newbies that come in or maze monsters.
Yeah. It was funny because I started in a maze, but I had no idea what to do. I had no idea what was going on. I learned a little bit more at the end, but I had no fucking clue what was going on. I just had fun. I had a lot of fun. And then I did the 10 years or whatever in streets, learned a lot, built the talent, built whatever. And then when I left Ghost Town, I helped Chamber of Chills, and we went and did a season, a couple nights over there in their maze in Bakersfield. And dude, had a fucking blast. And I'm like, wow, I forgot how fun it was to work in a maze. And especially when you get to roam around anywhere you want in the maze.
Yeah.
That's the fun part. I get being stuck in one spot and you're just like, oh, this sucks. Because that's how it was my first year for the first 2 weekends. And then I ended up being a breaker, and they let me kind of break everybody, and I got to choose. So anyways.
Yeah, that's cool being a breaker because you get to pick different rooms, or you get to scare in each room, and every room's different. So that's pretty cool.
It breaks up the night, which no pun intended. So,
Yeah.
but mazes can be a hell of a lot of fun, and I feel you learn a lot more when it comes to scare tactics, when it comes to again awareness and judgment. You learn a hell of a lot more and a lot faster than you do when you're in the streets.
I agree.
Being in, whether it's a maze or back in my day, a ride, putting in time in those areas is integral to being a better street talent.
Yeah.
100%.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
I wouldn't have it any other way.
So you're on streets in Ghost Town. Your first character, you were obviously a mask.
I was,
And,
yes.
Is that was the first year you we made a DR mask for you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
that
then
was the first year.
Is that the year we made that wig for you too?
Yes, and I still have it to this day.
I know, you told me that. I was
Still wear it to this day. That Jeremy Monteveros, I tell a lot of people, like, where'd you get your wig done? I mean, even Cook asked me. He goes, dude, your wig looks so good out there. I'm like, I'm going to tell you this right now. It was a lot fuller than this when I first got it.
Yeah.
We got a witch's wig, right? You tore a bunch out of it. You put latex and other
Get it
stuff
all
in it.
stringy.
Yeah, and it doesn't, the elastic's gone. It just literally sits on my head. And I have to, my hat's what holds it on pretty much. Right. And I still have that wig and I still use it and it still looks good. And like every year I want to get a new one, but I'm like, man, I can't.
Yeah.
Because it's perfect
Yeah.
for my character. Like it just sits there.
Yeah.
Like it was almost meant to be that you made it, and I've had it ever since. Like every year on streets, that wig has been worn.
It's so
night.
funny. It's so funny because like I never expect anything to last. Especially like using my history as an example, like I always had to replace masks. Like my freaking skull mask that I used, literally like the year after or 2 years after I stopped using it, man, that thing fucking brittled and fell apart. It was like it just turned into dust. It was so.
Oh yeah, your Zargon
It was
mask.
very sticky and gross. It was my Zag 1 mask. It just fell apart. So I never expect anything to last. And it's like, oh, it's latex, it's whatever, it's fake hair.
It's gonna break down.
It's gonna break down. But like it's so crazy to hear that some masks that I made 15 years ago, people were still running them for that long. And you using your wig, like you were using it that long. It just blows me away. It's not that like to toot the horn, but it's just like I just didn't expect to hear you're using that wig I did for you. It's
And I still use it. I mean, there's times where I've used it for when we did Huntington Haunt. We did Huntington Haunt. I put that wig on, put the top hat on, and it had this stringy hair coming down with 2D with 3D makeup on. Yeah. So that wig's on it through a lot, and it just I think the way it looks like you're dead or just death from that wig, because it's not thick hair, it's not hair, it's just stringy hanging there kind of hair.
Yeah.
And it just works for a lot of characters that I've done. Yeah. With throughout my years. So
yeah, that was the obviously the concept, because we had the DR mask. You were dead, so we had to pull out a lot of that fucking wig, because that wig was full.
Oh yeah, it was a witch's wig, dude. Yeah, it was
full.
Yeah, it was.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's funny, your mask too, the skull mask and the DR mask, I still have. They're still looking good, pristine condition. Nice. I actually bring my skull one just in case I'm late to Knott's and I have to go into a mask. Yeah. Because even that skull mask looks perfect with the mummy costume. Mm-hmm. All I do is throw the wig on it, cover up the bandage. My hat will cover up the bandage, and it'll just look.
I think you sent me a picture of it once. Yeah. We'll have to put it on the screen.
Yeah. So how long were you sequel before you switched over to the mummy? I don't remember the year you changed.
So, dang, dude, you know what I should give you guys? So when you guys air this, I have progression on how that mummy costume became to be what it is today. Because there was years where I hit up Jeremy, and he would see me every year. Yep. And he'd say, hey, you need something more to make it 3D, right? I had it where my mom, yes, viewers, my mom didn't make my costume.
Dude, your costumes are shit, so kudos to you.
Well, no, not this one. My first one.
Gotcha.
First one. The first one that you said that needed to be more 3D.
Oh, okay.
It was just bandages flat, right? And you couldn't tell the contrast between each bandage. They're all the same color. Bandage, like gauze bandage, right? Mm-hmm. So I should find those pictures and give them to you guys, so you can, while I'm talking here, you can flash them up on the screen. But
dude, send them. He'll put them in post.
Okay. So I got that. First year makeup was the lucky face. Second year makeup I had, and I still wasn't the mummy yet. Second year makeup, it was like that dragon looking face, and it was huge on me. I want to say they said it was casted after Big John.
Oh, wow.
No way.
Why would they do that to you?
I don't know if it's Big John or somebody else, but the guy's head's huge. I mean, he probably has the same size head as Totem.
So why did they not give you lucky the second year?
The mold.
They said that lucky mask didn't fit my face because the jaw wouldn't fit. They had to keep cutting it off.
Oh. Yeah.
And what's crazy is that's the first year that I wore facial hair. I had a goat with the lucky mask, and it still fit, right? But then they said, hey, it's not fitting you. We're going to give you something bigger. Well, it was way too big. I mean, it was overlapping over my ears how big that prosthetic was. And it was funny, really cool.
What face was that?
Man, it almost looks like a dragon because it's got horns on it.
Around here? The Jeepers, not the Jeepers Creepers face, right?
No, that was Chaser.
Yeah, that was Chase,
one. And then the nose is cut off. Like it looks like a bone nose. I got to find the pictures and show you guys. But what's crazy is I actually wore it for one of the pass events. They brought it out, and oh no, sorry, Eric wore it. Saunders.
Oh, okay.
He did a pass event for the pass holders, and he
Mm-hmm.
sent me a picture. I was like, dude, that's my second year of makeup on. I didn't think they still had it, but yeah, so that one was that one. And then after that, Craig came up to me and goes, hey, dude, you've had 2 years that are, masks start fitting you. And he goes, do you want to get casted? Are you coming back next year? I was like, do I want to what?
Yeah, you had
I'm
no
like,
idea.
What? I'm sorry, did you say casted? I knew what it meant, but I was like, that's my second year on Ghost Town. And there's people that have been out there for 10 years that haven't even been casted, right?
Right.
And I know a lot of monsters, and I won't drop their names, that got really mad at me
I'm
because
sure
I
they
got
did.
casted in my third year.
I got casted year 2 too.
Oh, okay.
Or actually
There you
year 3. I got makeup year 2 in Ghost Town. Year
Nice.
3, I got my own cast.
Yeah.
go. So I became the Mummy. What was that 2008, 2009, 2010? 2010 was my
Who sculpted your face?
Denise.
Oh, cool.
Denise did. We were talking over the summer, and she goes, "We're going to keep you on." They casted me in December or like January-ish, and then we were talking over the summer, and she's like, "Hey, what do you want it to look like? What do you want? What are some ideas you think that?"
Yeah, I was
you're gonna
I was
want?"
just about to ask you. Like, tell us the explanation of the design.
Oh, so yeah, so it was really cool because when I first got casted, she was there, and I said, "Hey, I just want something that looks demonic, right? I want something that looks, how do you say it, like demonish, right?"
Right.
So I sent her some pictures that I found online, and I go, obviously you can't copy these because it'd be copyright, but just something like this. And she molded it together. And now if you actually, and I'll get you the picture because you can really see the detail. It looks more reptilian more than anything because it's got like some boils here, but it looks like almost like scales, depending on how you paint it. And I was like, okay, no, I like it. I'll work with it. And, back in the day, I say back in the day, I'm not even, you guys are back in the day. Let's just put it that way. But they weren't able to rip the mask apart and do what they really wanted to do it, right? The mummy really didn't start coming to like looking more like a mummy. I want to say when Kenzie took over my mask.
Kenzie Crow? No, I'm sorry, Kenzie. The other Kenzie.
Yeah, our makeup artist for Decay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so she really started putting some talent into it, like tearing it up, putting bandages on it, doing this, doing that. And at first we thought we were going to get in trouble doing it, but that's when the mummy really came its form. But when I first got it, it casted me. I said demonic, and she got it reptilian. And I'm like, okay, I can work with this. This is cool. And then the first year that I wore my mask or that makeup, the mummy came out. And
so you had planned to be a mummy.
actually, you know what? You're right, Dean. I mean, it wasn't my first year when I got it. I was still in a trench coat running around. And then it was my second year after when I got my face casted. That's when the mummy came out.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring something different. I wanted something different. There hasn't been a mummy since years, like eons. I mean, I think the mummy was when the original monsters were happening, like the vampire, Wolfman.
Yeah.
They had a mummy out there back
Yeah,
in the day.
but he had a Phantom of the Opera type mask,
Yes.
like the
Yes.
original Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
Yes. So I wanted to bring something that nobody's done. I was just thinking, I'm like, dude, I'm tall, skinny. What can it be? Boom.
Perfect.
Mummy. I mean, throw my arms out. You guys seen it, and it looks just how slender I am. That it just looks like I'm bone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hanging out there with the baggy bandages, everything like that. So when I first started it, it was very, very one-dimensional. Nobody could tell, and everybody thought I was Michael Jackson with the wig.
Mm-hmm.
The way things were looking. I was wearing a black top, black shorts, black leggings. And it just wasn't. There wasn't depth to my character, right? And so the next year after that, I think I wore that one for about 2 years, and then I was like, dude, I got to do something more. I started going into Jerry, Jackal's wife. She sewed my next one. My mom didn't have time at the time, and she goes, I'll do it for you. And I go, we need to throw some other, that's when I asked you, she go, make it 3-dimensional. And so that's when I threw different colors and different types of material on it. So when it got washed, it would hang different, wouldn't all hang the same. And then it got to the point where not my first year of Decade, the year that they started Decade, the first year that they started Decade, I went to go see them. I met, and you guys all know him, I met Dax for the first time. And I knew him through Erie. And Erie's like, dude, you got to talk to this guy. He makes costumes for a living, or he makes really good costumes. I mean, What
I'm
sold me
working
on
with
is,
him this year at Hayride.
yeah, he's doing Hayride. He's doing all the costumes for them.
Yep.
And I went up to him. I started talking to him. The zombie costume that he was wearing, he had it out for 6 months out on the side of his house for it to really like age. And you could feel it was like stiff and gross. And I go, that's pretty cool. Somebody that puts that much time into making a costume, it's got to be good. And it was amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I asked him to do it. And he said yes. And thank you to Erie, because Erie's the one that, introduced me to him. Mike Stewart. I don't know if you guys, know.
Yeah.
Erie Mike.
And by the way, off note, he's at VG now, right?
Shut up.
Yeah. He works at VG.
Wow. As a designer?
Yeah.
What's VG?
Damn. Violent Gentleman.
The hockey clothing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he works there now. So hit him up for some discount clothes, bro. Yeah. So, anyways, so I got that done, and I said, hey, dude, this is my concept. And when I first did this concept, a lot of people think that I wrap these bandages on myself every single night. And they go, how long does it take you to put that on?
Yeah.
I'm like, to be honest with you, man, it's all sewn to my Under Armour spandex. And they go, what? I'm like, yeah, so I can take it off as a shirt and pants and wash it every single night, because I hate it how hot costumes were only washed once a week.
Yeah.
Coming back in your own sweat.
That's so gross.
And, and I hated smelling. So they go, really? I'm like, that's a smart idea. I'm like, yeah, I wanted something that was easy to put on, easy to take off. It got to the point when I asked Dax to make it, I said, hey, so I'm having trouble pulling this thing off when I'm sweating. Like, that Under Armour sticks, right?
Yeah.
You can't pull it off. And I was getting to the point where I was ripping my costume. I said, is there any way we could put a zipper in the back, like a wetsuit, where I have a string hanging, and I can just pull it? And he goes, how about this? I'll put it on the side. So I have a zipper on my left side that I unzip, and I'm able to take it off. But now this thing, that costume right now is probably 6 years old, 7 years old.
Oh, wow.
So it's time for a new one.
So I don't know when everybody's gonna be looking at this, but I do a plan for my last 2 years to have a brand new one, and the add. And you guys know I always add to my costume.
Yeah.
And word of the wise to a lot of you that are listening out there that new to haunt industry, always progress your costume.
Yeah.
Because you will not be relevant anymore. I always add something to my costume. As you know, that I'm head to toe wrapped.
Yep.
So I decided to put wrestling shoes on. I had Dax say, hey, I want to look head to toe wrapped just like a mummy. And I had blue bandages on and all the way up to my gloves, right? And then this last couple of years, I started putting bone on my fingers, so it looks like my fingers are skeleton.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'm a mummy. So word to the wise to everybody out there, always try to stay relevant. Try to make your costume, more and more add on to it. I'm still finding my character. I found out what my base was, the mummy, right? It worked. But I'm still every single year progressing on that character.
You should
Again, that's where that thing comes in. Growth is eternal.
Yeah. You should expose more bone.
I was thinking about this there. So I was talking to Belle the other day, and I was like, man, it'd be cool because this next 2 years I'm hoping to have a trench coat, right? But I'm going to have on the back a spine hanging out.
Literally going to say.
I was just going to say that too. And we had a spine mold that we destroyed years ago.
Yeah,
and femur bones and an arm bone.
See, and that's what I was thinking. Maybe one of my arms being exposed, and kind of sewn onto the costume or into the costume, or velcroed, where I can take it off and wash it.
Yeah, the arm bones, end up not looking right out
because they're sticking up.
Yeah, because I did those for Mike Moore when I did this guy for him.
You remember that one, Chase?
Oh yeah.
That thing was so sick.
He was full top.
Yeah, that thing's rad.
He was full top to bottom skeleton, and he looked fucking amazing out there. But
just couldn't move
once
in it.
He started moving, the spine looked dope, like the ribs looked dope, but like his arms, the legs looked okay, but the arms for some reason just looked a little quirky, you know. And
I'm wondering if it's just because it sits on.
It's because because you can't
sits too high.
You can't get the dimension. You have to cut the bone in half, and it just sits right
lay
here.
Flat.
And the part that looks weird is right here. So when you try to get the arm,
the joint,
it just looks odd. So it's easier to just do you have a rib cage exposed or a spine exposed because
just a section of it, not the whole thing.
Yeah, and you could have But anyways, you can if we design that, however. But
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to Dax, and it's crazy. Like he did such a good job on my costume that I, to finish out my years, I want him to be the one to be the last one to make my costume, and hopefully hang it up. And
yeah, well, two references you can use. One, use the Haunted Mansion movie. Use Rick Baker's zombies from that, and then use Jason from Friday the 13th 7.
Okay.
Yeah, use those two as reference for bone exposure and skeletal.
Cool. Thank
shape.
you. I'll take that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will.
especially the
Hopefully-
Rick Baker one, man. Fuck. Amazing.
Yeah, they did look good.
Yeah.
That guy's an amazing makeup artist, though.
Yeah, he is. So hopefully, when this episode comes out, hopefully, I didn't say too much, but I was trying to make a surprise for everybody. But it's all good. Just because I don't want to be coming back just the minority, and it's all ripping. It's just getting to the point where taking that thing on and off, all the stitches are coming off the bandages.
Yeah.
And,
Well, have you thought about putting it on a different fabric besides Under Armour? Something a little more durable?
So this is so this one isn't Under Armour. So this is how Dax is fully into his costumes. He actually measured me and made my own Lycra suit.
Oh, sweet.
dope.
Yeah, so he made my own Lycra suit. Now it lasted for a long time. It just over time
It breaks down.
it breaks down. So
Yeah.
this year I was trying to get it done before the new haunt season. Because to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going to happen this year. I thought they were going to take another year off.
Yeah.
And I really kind of was late to the game on it. I didn't get things ready. And he wanted me to just to buy a top and bottom. I'm like, man, I just know a lot of that stuff's really thin and it's just going to rip apart. So now that I have time, I think when he's done with his busy season, I might ask him to size me up again and do another Lycra suit because it did last a good amount of time. And then, later on down the road, I'd like to use it just for regular Halloween. It's just a great costume to use out when my kid gets older.
Yep.
Go trick-or-treating with them, rocking around, and obviously not having my face, but, I'll probably use the skeleton mask because it'll look perfect with it.
Yeah.
It'll be perfect. So,
Yeah.
so it's just a little investment for my last couple of years, and then or I might go to 20. I don't know. I'm still having fun, and my wife lets me do it, and
Yeah. And the body's not breaking
the
down.
body's not breaking down. And you know what's funny? Is a lot of people say that, and I'm very fortunate for how tall I am. I don't have knee problems. I don't have back problems. I don't have ankle problems.
Yeah.
I played sports all my life, and doing all this too is with Decade and everything. And then you guys know me. I'm not a heavy slider, so I don't do a lot of the big stunts. But still, always sliding. I'm very fortunate that I don't have knee problems or ankle problems. It's great.
So okay. Now we've pretty much covered your haunt career up to date.
Mhm.
So let's go.
Well, wait. There's one thing we didn't cover.
What?
What's your backstory?
Oh, backstory. A lot of people ask me
Touche.
that. I so there was. Okay, the way it works, so I'm technically a bounty hunter, mummified bounty hunter. So I'm a well-known bounty hunter that's known throughout the Western lands. And walking through Calico, I saw a wanted poster, and it was a question mark. And the background of it was that every bounty person that's gone to go get this bounty, or every bounty hunter going to get this bounty, never come back. And the rumor was that it was a Green Witch, and everybody was scared to go after her.
Wow.
And I was well known throughout the land. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I always get my bounties. I never miss my bounties. I'm going for it. So come to find out, it was the Green Witch, and I gave her such a hard time that I almost caught her that she made me one of hers. So she mummified me to preserve me, and come back to Ghost Town and live off screams and fears of the citizens of Ghost Town, or be one of the citizens of Ghost Town that living off the screams and fears of the guests that come through Ghost Town.
That's a good backstory, dude. I've never heard that.
Yeah. So and then it's crazy is I have it's being sequel. That one year that I had the dreads. I don't know, Jeremy, if you saw me that one year.
Yeah.
Dieterman, that was actually my twin brother, right? So I came back, and coming back into town after the Green Witch had her way with me. My twin brother lost his family, and that character is called the Dread Demon.
That's cool.
He still had the same kind of face, perfectly with my makeup, and it wasn't as mummified as it was now. And I want to bring it back. I want to see if I can maybe bring it back a couple nights for like the 50th, because I still have that dread wig and I still have that costume. But the way his backstory was, I came back into town and my twin lost his family, and he couldn't live life because he was dreading everything, just dreading everything, hating the world.
Hence the Dread Demon.
Boom. And I sat there, and he was about to take his own life. And the Green Witch got a hold of him first.
Oh wow.
And he made him into a minion of one of her own. Yeah. So technically, that is my twin brother on Ghost Town. I was a bounty hunter. I went the wrong way, technically, in life. He went family way in life, but he lost his family and then turned into me, technically.
That's
He
cool.
lost his way. So not a lot of people know the Dread Demon because I only did that for 1 year, and then they got strict on changing costumes. So I wanted to keep bringing that back or bring it out like every Sunday or every Thursday or something like that when it's not a busy night. And the Dread Demon does move a lot faster and smoother than the Mummy because the Mummy moves a lot slower.
Yeah.
And then, Tim got really strict on changing costumes because people were having problems, and it takes one to ruin it for everybody else. And
Yeah, it takes just one.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
it. So
Just one.
yeah, there you go. Though I actually don't tell a lot of people my backstory. A lot of people ask, and it's only very far from few that people know what. The
Yeah, I didn't
backstory
even
is.
know that. I knew there was a backstory as to why you did it, but I didn't know. Not to mention, I didn't know there was two of them.
Yeah,
You
Yeah.
know, the
I didn't
Dread
know the
Demon and
second
the.
one.
I thought the Dread Demon was the start of the Mummy, and then it evolved into
That's what I thought too.
the other wig.
yeah.
Yeah.
The Dread Demon
So-
came after the Mummy. Yeah,
Yeah, I never knew your backstory, and that one next to Stewart's, Erie's, is one of the top two stories that I've heard through Ghost Town.
Yeah.
They're-
Yes.
'cause
I
they're
love
very
I love Stewart's. His is
amazing.
pretty dope. Yeah,
He told
Yeah.
me it, and I'm like, what's with? Because like he and I were like walking around. I'm all, what's with the shovel? Because it's dope. I was like,
Yeah,
I was
it is.
fascinated
It is.
by it. Like, and I'm like,
and he
dude,
works that shovel.
He
Dude. I haven't
does,
seen
man.
somebody in that in a long time do something with a prop like that. It
oh
was
no,
awesome.
like he
Yeah.
uses it
Yeah.
as his main thing. Like those are his knee pads. Like
Yeah.
really, that's like his thing. So I'm like,
And it
dude,
was so loud.
yeah. So he told me his story, and I'm like, and he showed me, and this is like how dumb I felt because I didn't really like analyze his costume. We're in the dark, so it's not like you go out there and you're like, ooh, I want to
Yeah,
see.
looking. Yeah.
And I saw the teeth, and he told me the
Yep.
story, and I'm like, that's fucking.
And guess who made his costume?
Same person.
Dax. That's
Dope.
how Erie introduced me to Dax because he made his.
Yeah,
his
I don't
costume.
remember what like his actual costume looked like, but I know that he worked the shit out of it, man. He was good.
Oh yeah.
He was
Yeah.
really good.
Now I can go a little bit more detail on that backstory, but that was more of my kind of like quick to. We can be here all night talking about the backstory
and that's
on
the
that.
thing.
Yeah,
but-
see,
That's the thing too, because that's what this podcast originally was going to be. Like when I wanted it to be about, the psychological and the aspect of creating a character. It was strictly going to be character based. Like it was going to be like, what's your character? How'd you come up with the backstory? What was the thought process behind your character? Certain things you do out there. What are your movements a part of it? Like all of that, because you can get into a deep conversation if someone really thought about their backstory and developed the character in that way. And the thing that I love about it, and I know you could probably get deep into it, is because you brought in your real life story into your character with the whole twin thing, which is fucking dope.
Well, for a while there, Dieter was trying to get my brother a job there for the longest time, and he even told him like, "Hey, you come back next year, audition for Ghost Town. I'll just put you in there, so you guys can have that twin." And
that would have been rad too if they did that.
So I was gonna have him be
Yeah.
be the Dread Demon, and be running around. Or if it came down to have two mummy costumes made, and one at the front of Fog Alley, one at the end of Fog Alley. Like people think you're just racing through the other side of the park, and you're like right back in their face again. Like, can you imagine? But they had problems with people wearing the same costumes. Remember those years?
Yep.
Yeah, people would go out and get in trouble for it. So it was
Yeah.
hard.
That was after Jeremy, Paul, Mike Reichman, and Chris Mendez, they all decided to go out like quintuplet spawns.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then there
Or not
were years after that
quintuplet,
too.
quad spawns.
And that's what was what, how do you say it? That's what was born of all the other rookies trying to have the same costumes going out there at the same time and having the same mask, and it's just like, guys, what are you
That's the
doing?
thing is like we never caused trouble. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, we got into a lot of trouble. We got away with a lot of it. But when the four of us did Spawn, like we did it to fuck with people. Like
It was awesome
and it's
too.
the whole concept of like, with you and your brother, where you be in one area and we be in the other. We did a lot of like, okay, well, we're going to be in the same area, and you're going to attack one person, and then we're going to go and attack that person 10 steps later, and then someone else is going to attack that person from this angle, and
They're gonna go, what the
"Holy
fuck? We
shit,
just
what
got
the-
him."
that- we just got attacked by the same person you know what I'm saying? So like that was the whole concept, and just running around like a bunch of nuts. Chris and I had a hell of a time trying to keep up with Paul and Mike. Those guys were fucking lunatics when they were spawning. Oh my god. So they even said when we did it, they were like, okay, you guys have to keep up. We're like, okay.
Yeah.
And that first night we were like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah. But we did it. I think we did it 2 or 3 times, and it was so much fun. But it was a lot of work. It was
cool seeing the pictures that when Paul would show me the pictures of all you guys. That was so rad just to see 4 spawns like that. I'm like, that looks so dope.
Yeah.
That looks so dope.
Yeah. So that, and it was the same. Chris and I, when we were twins, we didn't want to be like the pigs. We were like, we need to come up with our own little, act, I guess you would say. Yeah. And we did, because he and I were complete polar opposite personality wise. Like he was the kooky, goofy guy and funny guy, and I was like the serious, flirty, like kind of like
strolling, trying to pick up on chicks and character.
Let's reword that. I wasn't trying. I did.
Well, there you go.
Thank you, Ghost Town bathroom.
Oh my god.
Ghost Town bathroom. Anyway.
Oh, that's who they're talking about when they talk about those stories. I got it now. There you go.
I never got caught.
Yeah. Well, now you did. No, just kidding.
Outed myself, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and but the pigs had their thing. They were together. They were always like in your face and kooky, and they did all the original ones did the gymnastic stuff. And
the twins. It's funny because they were twin sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
They were both gymnasts.
A little story here. Before I got makeup, when Chaser was on the streets, you remember CFS mask? You guys know CFX, right?
Yeah, I have one.
Do you know the imp when it first came out? The yellow imp. So I fell in love with that mask, and I love how it just moves the ears, everything. And Chase and I said, if I don't get makeup that next year, we are going to order them, and we got it approved by Craig. That one, he was going to be more of a green color, and I was going to be the yellow color.
Nice.
And we were going to have our own language.
That would have been dope.
That would have been
sick. We were going to have our own language, and we were going to practice it before we went in. And because Chase and I always play off each other. One of our auditions, we had to be marionettes, and he acted like he got. Oh no! So we were bumping into each other, and we acted like we got tangled. So we were all like spinning around in circles, making everybody laugh, and like saying, because it's supposed to be a marionette, the person upstairs doing it wrong, and you want to control yourself. And I acted like Pinocchio, and I'm like, wrong park, stupid. And yelling at the guy upstairs, and we got stuck to each other. So we always played off each other. And I go, Chase, we need to do this. This would be so rad. And we were going to actually get to the point where we slid and ran on all 4s at people. Nice. So we'd go from sliding, running on all 4s, sliding again. And we were practicing that. And that was a lot harder on my back because I'm tall, trying to run on all 4s. But it just got to the point where I got makeup, which saved us about $600 at the time because those masks.
Oh yeah,
so they still are $600.
Yeah, dude. Some of them are over $1,000.
Oh yeah. So. They're really cool though. I still want to buy that mask, the imp mask, because now they have the gloves that go with it. I mean, they have everything, and it's just a bitch.
Yeah. I have the demon mask from that.
Yes. Yep. That's right.
Belial. Belial, whatever it's called.
They're very difficult to work in.
Yeah. No. So Jay went to silicone this year, and he did it in Asylum. And I go, dude, you sweat so much in those things. Mm-hmm. The heat builds up, and I don't know how you can wear that for 8 hours. There's no way. Mm-hmm. So I'm stoked that I didn't get it because those things are hot.
Yeah, it takes about an hour for your body to, at least for me, for your body to regulate. Once it regulates, it's fine.
Yeah. And then what's nice too is when you sweat it sticks more to your face, so you have more facial movement in the silicone mask. So that's really cool.
Dude, I wore mine all day at fair. 10, 11 hours total.
In the sun too. That's crazy. Yeah. See, but you weren't running around.
Still, that's hot. That's hot.
Super hot.
But I had sweat running out of my mouth.
Yeah. It's so dusty. Oh my god.
But yeah.
Wow.
So, that's okay. So, that backstory is fucking awesome, dude. Now I know where it came from.
Oh, I forgot to add this into because you've heard my screech out there, right, Dieterman?
Yeah.
I forgot to add in there that because I do make noise, and you guys mentioned that, like, what your character does and this and that.
Yeah.
So I do make the noises, and that's all I do. I don't say anything. I don't speak. I grunt. But I do that screech, and to add to that backstory, the Green Witch possessed me with a screeching demon. That's what made me her own, because she put one of her own in me.
Right. to
work
take
with
over
her.
the body.
Yeah, I got some really good video ideas for that. I already presented it to Knott. Hopefully they take it and I can help, kind of direct and produce it. But I have a lot of video ideas to coordinate because they're trying to make it so that why each character plays and knows each character.
Hmm.
And I'm not going to go into detail because I can sit here all night explaining it all. But
Yeah, no, that's in depth.
yeah, and it'll be short, 1 minute, 1.5 minutes, little YouTube films.
Hmm.
And when it gets closer to Haunt, it'll show all of it at once, and it'll show how everybody knows each other through Calico, kind of deal. And I have it where it'll show kind of your backstory on each character, on how they
Right.
became who they are.
Nice.
So
If everybody has that.
yeah, if everybody has that, but it would only be like probably the top 10 monsters that are out there.
Yeah, the core, I guess you could say.
Yeah, and it would only be them because you can't do everybody.
No.
And you can have like just regular stand-ins, just being the regular citizens, making some noises like some of the monsters out there do, but they won't be their backstory kind of deal.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. That's
So hopefully
fucking
that
awesome,
works.
dude.
yeah.
Well, I
Okay,
mean, go ahead.
No, we're not done yet.
I know.
So now we've gotten through all of your actual haunt stuff, and this is all Halloween based type stuff. So let's move into the development of Decay Brigade a little bit.
Sure.
We don't have to go into a big detail. I know who started and everything, but let's touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
And let's see how that, let's take it where you want to take it.
Yeah, I'll just explain when I started and then how is it today. So the first year of Decade, you guys all know Rick asked Spaz to get a team together because the slider show at Not Scary Farm got nixed because due to fire reasons, not to code, just too many people in one area. That's at least what I was told. So Rick asked Spaz to put a team together.
Rick West?
Rick West,
Rick,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Rick West. Asked Spaz to put everything together. I think you guys kind of talked about it on your guys' podcast, the one that Jeremy sent me with Decade in it. So I won't try to repeat it, but
No, repeat it because you'll know more.
okay.
Yeah.
So it started with Rick asking Spaz, and he says, "Yeah, I got a handful of people." And I guess he asked I forgot who it was, a Scream team, or I forgot who they did it with that first year. And I wasn't in it. I wasn't there. I was there to support and having a good time. And, I was talking to Spaz and this, and he goes, "Yeah, we were going to try to get you in it, but we could only allow so many people because we were teamed up with these other people." And I was like, "Dude, all good. Maybe next year." He goes, yeah. Okay, cool. So I thought it was just going to be like kind of a get who you want in there kind of deal. Like you do it this year, that person does it next year kind of deal. Well, it didn't turn out to be that way. And I'm very thankful for how it did because we have such a tight-knit group and we know a lot of people. And there's still people that I do want in it, like even to this day. There's a lot of vets that I want in there. There's a lot of newer people that I want, young people that just have so much amazing talent to go in there. But so I started my the second year that Decade, it wasn't even called Decade Brigade at that time. We were just a slider team.
Yeah.
And it was midway through Midsummer Scream. Oh no, practicing for Midsummer Scream and Scare LA that we decided to come up with a name.
Okay.
Scare LA was your first show, huh?
Scare LA was our first show, and then when Rick West branched off to do his own, that's when we got 2 conventions each year.
Yeah.
Scare LA and then Midsummer Scream.
Right.
But it was Steve-O that literally we're sitting there all around. We're all throwing out names and this and that, and he's just like, "What about Decade Brigade?" Well, I guess that used to be a band of his.
Oh.
Steve
Warm Beer. He was in a band called Decade Brigade. And, they dispersed, right? There was no more. And he says, "What about, I was in this old band called Decade Brigade. What about Decade Brigade?" We're just like, whoa, that's perfect.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Erie and Beggs that came up with the mascot or logo. And it was perfect because it was with an Army helmet, Brigade, right? And Decade were all dead. And then the way I got into my character there, you guys know I have a sales background. I'm very business oriented. And I decided to take that, another part of my life, and turn it into my character, right? And then Nani and I talked, and we decided she came on, I think, the year after. And we talked, and we wanted to be twins. another aspect of my life.
Yeah.
We both know each other for so long. We worked with each other at Knott Scary Farm. We both play off each other the same way that I did with Chase. And I said, why don't we just be brother and sister twins? Let's just be fraternal twins.
Yeah.
So it came down to being where she was always the jokester, which she is, right, when she's in character. And I was more the serious one, but I always cared for my little sister, right? I always cared for my sister. And anywhere we go, if somebody's picking on her, I kind of step in kind of deal, play it off. But I became where I have a business suit, tore the sleeves off, tore up the white shirt underneath, and then I wear slacks in my sliding, and then I wear some leggings underneath just to kind of make it look like, pants. But that's what I turned it into. I turned that into, and we have the same makeup, same face. Hers is a little bit more, same dreads.
Yeah.
Hers turned into a little bit more feminine on the face, so to get more the feminine side of it.
Yeah.
But I took another part of our lives of what we do. Nani's always a big jokester. She always loves having fun.
Yeah.
I have a business background. I have a sales background where that stuff, and I just put that together. And it worked out. And till this day, we're still doing good. You guys seen a lot of our shows. As you can see, we're just getting progressively better every single year. With now starting out, there was no lighting. It was just one speaker with music. And now we're to the point where it's almost a full production with, a projector screen up front, doing our own videos. And now we're starting to implement ramps and, hopefully nobody gets hurt. Like one year we did with Erie and him doing his backflip. That was another epic year. And I forgot what year. I think it was 2016, 2017 when he did the backflip, which nobody's ever done.
Yeah.
And he did the backflip where somebody slid under him. And I don't know if you were there that day, Dieterman, but everybody lost their shit.
I missed it.
Everybody, you can see, and there's a slow-mo video online. It's a 10-minute video, but it's taking that fast speed pass, high speed pass, breaks it down from 2 minutes to 10 minutes because every time there's a trick, it does a slow-mo of it.
Yeah.
And it shows Erie doing his backflip, and he's in slow-mo. Right when he lands, you see everybody in the crowd just lose their shit because nobody's seen that before.
That's
cool.
And we got that idea from Erie's a parkour guy, right? So he knew how to do a backflip. And I go, dude, we need to figure that out because I forgot who it was. Was it you, Jeremy, that was doing slider backflip, back handsprings? There you go. I remember that. I seen that. I think Paul showed me that back in the day.
Aaron Mendez was the first one to do it. I pulled it off a few times and then I got injured and couldn't do it anymore.
Got it. And then Vi was doing it one year out in Silver Bullet. He did it. He was going backwards to do a back handspring.
I don't remember who Vi was.
Dieterman knows Vi.
Who?
Vi.
Oh yeah, he's there now still.
Yeah, he's still there, and he's a bandit. I don't know if he's still a bandit.
He's stunt. He's on the stunt team now.
Stunt team. Oh, good for him. That's awesome. So he was starting to. I'm like, dude, we need to implement that somehow. And then Erie did it one day at the rink. I go, Erie, do you think you could time that where somebody slides under you? Because we need to implement that somehow with sliding. And he goes, yeah, let's try it. So he would do on the side first, and Greg would be timing it. And we landed it the first time at the rink. We all went nuts. So, there's a lot of stuff that's still happening. There's still a lot of ideas that we have for Decade that, we got to practice it so nobody gets really injured like he did that one year. And, but to this day, we're still going strong with Decade. And, you saw us at Midsummer Scream or Spirits, Waking the Spirits.
Yeah.
And now we're starting to do a little bit more merch. As me and Jeremy are working on something together here. And Dieterman, right? The 3D print.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We'll show you after we're recording because it's in production.
It's still top secret.
It's,
a
couple things we're working on.
Yeah. So we're just trying to take the next level, trying to still be relevant, right? And we got to the point where we were doing Sliders Unite, which Dieterman helped out a lot with, and got that started.
10 years, dude. 10 years it took us to get that off the ground.
Yeah, and it's amazing because a lot of back in the day, you guys know there was always beef between other zones.
Yeah, different factions
parks,
from different parks.
Yeah. And it was just we didn't need that. We're all doing the same thing. We all do it for the love of the event, right?
Yeah.
And once we got that started going, it was amazing. And I hope to get that going again because I think that's a great event for any amusement park that takes it. To have there with all the sliding. And to be honest with you, there's not many factions left. You got your Knotts, you got your Decade. You do have Queen Mary still, but I don't think they're doing there this year, right?
We're not running this year. We're kind of broken up all over the place.
Yeah. So and Six Flags. There's nothing at Universal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of
So-
thinking Six Flags is going to be the potential, but
Yeah,
it's just
That's
a
a
matter.
trek.
It's just a matter. It's a trek, but it's also a matter
Well,
of them allowing, because
Yeah.
they're obviously bigger. They're a bigger park.
Yeah.
They
That's
have,
the caveat.
more regulations than what Queen Mary would have. So it's
yeah,
Yeah.
and
That's the
Well,
caveat.
there's a lot of
Dark Harbor
logistics.
was the best place to
to do it
do it because of how they allowed talent to come in.
and work 1 day or 2 days, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a lot
Knott's,
more
Knott's is
logistics with the
definitely out of
bigger-
the question.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's,
I've actually talked to Brandon a lot about trying to get Decade as a show there, and that would be a lot of people giving up their characters because we would do probably 2 shows a night during the haunt season, and I did worked with this with John Cook before he left as well. It was just a logistic thing. It's
Yeah.
logistically almost impossible to try to get a show at Knott's because there's just not a big enough space to
The
do
ground is totally different now.
it. Yeah.
The
So-
square's gone.
Yeah, exactly. So
You know.
with Decade, I love how it's taken off. The little hiatus from COVID, we have to come back tenfold to show that we still got it, kind of deal. And a lot of people have retired. And then we're gonna have to recruit again. It might get to the point where I just help run the team, kind of like Dieterman, like you do with Queen Mary, and kind of sit back and let the young guys take it and do the sliding. So hopefully it still goes on for many years to come. And we're just trying to be, like I said earlier, relevant.
Well, that's the
Trying to
thing
keep-
that you and I talked about at Spirit Awakens as well. It's like you had mentioned, a lot of the older guys are, kind of getting to the point to where they can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the bonus of doing something like that is you're always going to have youngsters coming. And as
Tons.
long as you have
Tons.
someone running it and being in control of it, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
The industry isn't
Yeah.
going anywhere. So,
No.
and you're always going to have newcomers coming in that are going to be extremely talented,
Yeah.
more agile than the next. So
We even applied for America's Got Talent. We applied for that, and then the downfall of the stage isn't big enough,
Yeah.
right? And unless I know they do acts where you can film it outside,
Mm-hmm.
and they can present it on the big screen. But we did a lot of venues. We did YouTube's scare event. We did Snapchat's Halloween party. We almost did Playboy Mansion, which is crazy, but that kind of fell through. It would have been cool to scare with Hugh being there, but
Yeah.
Now he did.
now he did, yeah. But where else have we done? We done Bishop up north. You guys tapped on that a
Yeah.
little bit on yours.
The State Fair.
Yeah, the state fair. We got asked to go back this year, and there's no way, not with COVID or anything. There.
right.
And then where else we done? Six Flags over Texas.
Yeah.
We trained their sliders. Went over there and helped them try to build a show. A lot of people get into it, and a lot of them just kind of let it go to their head, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
They
You're
get-
always going to get that.
Yeah, and Scott, I guarantee you go through it when you go to train over in Florida, and you got people that just have these egos that think they're the best, and it's like, bro, you have no idea what we've seen and what we've done,
Yeah.
and how humble we are to be still doing this, and that's what
Yeah.
we're most thankful for. But there's no reason for us to sit there and have a big head over it,
Right.
because this industry is so small that, to be honest with you, it's a minuscule thing in life, and
Yeah.
there's no reason why you should have a big head over it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's very small. It
Yes.
a lot of people, just for my character and how long I've been doing it, and they say, every time I explain, like I work at Peloton, right? And Greg, he says, don't let him fool you. He's one of the iconics there. This and that. I'm like, I don't like to say that to people because I'm not bragging that I'm considered an iconic, right? I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
And I'm more of, I want people to look at what I've done and be inspired by that.
Yeah.
And, help have them keep going. Like, don't get discouraged because this took me a long time to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I did start getting some praise, right? From doing commercials, doing promos. That one year of 2018 where I was the silhouette at the end of that, the one that John Cook did, Haystack did, RIP again.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that was happening. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, "You're the face of Haunt. You're the face of Haunt." I'm like, "No, I'm not. All these people are the face of Haunt."
Yeah.
I was just standing there at 4:00 in the morning, wanting to go home, and they weren't telling me when to slide. That's how they got that. And I didn't even know they're going to put it in it.
Right.
Yeah.
So they were waiting for my slider. It was the one that I come out of the fog and I slide, and I stood there and I was like, guys, I got to work at 9 o'clock in the morning. Are we done yet? They're like, hang on.
Yeah.
We're almost done. I'm like, guys, I got a couple more runs in me and I got to go. And did not know. John Cook says, hey, dude, you're gonna like this. And he sent me kind of a link to see it before it went out. And I got chills. I still get chills watching it to this day.
Yeah.
When people ask, and I just but I don't take that to my head. I don't try to have a big head about things because we're all there for the same thing.
Yeah.
This will always be there. It is huge to a lot of people if you make it a career, right? For the people that work at Knott's, turn it into for Brandon and Pasta. They've worked so hard to get where they're at.
Right.
And that's great. But for a lot of us, it's something small. There's no reason to get a big head out of it.
It's a seasonal thing, and it's not going to pay your bills. So
I'm trying to do that shit too. It's not easy.
No, and I was just about to say, some people do turn it into a profession. Scott, you got so much experience on it, right? As you should. You're probably one of the best person to do that because you've taught so many different people and you know what works and how to train and do this stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's good to sit there and try to do that because a lot of parks need that out there. A lot of hunting events need those people that say, hey, how do I be safe? What do I have to do in order to get this done, or not be so fatigued?
Yeah, exactly.
How do I get a good side and stop? Like just stuff like that, and you have that.
Yeah.
So there are some things that you can take from this industry and make it into a career, but there's a lot of us out there that, like me, no. I have my sales background. I have my my own personal job and my career that I'm not going to
Yeah.
This is so small, I can't let that take over.
Yeah.
So
It's
it's a hobby.
It's a hobby. It's a fun hobby.
It's a hobby. Yeah, it's a fun hobby.
A fun hobby,
Yeah.
But it's like you mentioned the ego. That's the thing that unfortunately Scott is gonna have to deal with because he has to hit up all these other haunts and these independent haunts, and they're gonna have sliders already there, but they're gonna have that ego of like, well, we're already doing it. What do we need you for?
Yeah.
Or oh, we're the best in the Midwest, so why do we need you from the it's gonna be an uphill battle, but I think it'll be dope when the ball rolls. He's already getting a lot of traction, which is great.
No, it's good.
I have 6 or 7 possibilities for next season already.
Yeah, and that's dope.
Very cool.
So it's like that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand and don't know is that the knowledge that Scott will bring when it comes to this stuff. It's not just a matter of dropping down and scaring somebody. There is a lot of stuff, a lot of information from techniques to equipment, to
even before gearing up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Physicality aspect of it. There is a mental aspect of it. Like there is a lot that people just don't get.
Yeah.
Which is what we're going to get into in our part 2 sliding. Or actually, I take that back. Rewind. What we got into.
Yeah.
We haven't fucking done it yet at this point, but it has already aired. Let's put it that way. So, and it's just it's a lot of information. You can't just go and put fucking knee pads on and just drop and do it.
You can't.
And I've spoken to people that have done that, and they're just like, I can't get it. I can't figure it out. It's like,
why can't I go as far? Why do I hit the ground and I stop? I'm like, because you're doing it wrong.
Why do I hit the ground and my arm slips out?
Yeah, it's like, there's certain ways you need to do it to make it work, and you have to train for it. But so the cade's going well. It was me and Paul and I doing a lot of logistics for it, and then Paul retired to be with his family, which was awesome. It might get to the point where I might be doing the same. I don't know, maybe years down the road, but. It's been a crazy and fun ride on how Decade started. Yeah. And now I know how you guys feel when you guys were like the vets of Not Scary Farm. Yeah. When that all stuff started turning around into sliding and seeing it, how it progressed, and seeing this team start from almost nothing, really nothing, to just one invite, and that's what started it. Yeah. And we're so thankful for Rick Rest because he always invites us every single year.
And that's the thing. Rick has always been, especially even back in the day when Haunted Media
when he was TPA. When he was TPA. Yeah,
he had always had that vision, and it's like it's crazy because back in the day we tried to do that. We tried to do what you guys did with Decade. Do a show, a story-filled show at Knott's, and Knott's was just like, no, we don't even fucking want you guys doing this stuff. It's like they put out said no. We're like,
well, what's crazy though is that the year that it did end. At Not Scary Farm, the slider show did end. It's 11:45 at night, and it was all for the main haunt fans that were staying there till late at night.
Right.
And that next year, when everybody was asking, "When's the slider show? When's the slider show?" and it still was asking about 3 or 4 years after.
Yeah.
Like people that were just coming back, they come there to see that.
Yeah.
And they missed the last 3 years to be there, and then all of a sudden they come back and like, no, there's no slider show. We're so sorry. And it's like their hearts are broken because a lot of people out there stayed that long to see that show.
Yep. Yeah.
It was cool, and it was starting getting into that way where we had music, and like when we did that one year, we did the Michael Jackson Thriller Walk. That was a lot of fun when we did that, and it started getting to the point where Knott was putting on music for us.
That's cool.
And I was like, this was cool that it hopefully starts to take off. And then I think it was new management that came in, and they said, bye.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, the ground is not conducive in the big areas anymore for sliding
no,
either.
yeah, now it's not. Yeah. But I think
Yeah.
they said it was a fire hazard because there's too many people in one spot.
I'm sure they had their reasons. They always do.
Yeah.
Well, it's weird is because, I mean, Chase, Jeremy knows, Chase, I'm sure you know too, is like slider shows spawned from the hanging pre-show.
Yep.
That's how it was created.
Yep.
And when we really started doing it was 97.
You guys were doing it in front of the blockades.
And that was just to hype the crowd up,
Yep.
get them ready for the show, and then we did the hey ho thing too,
Yeah, and it wasn't for sliding. Like the sliding just kind of came naturally.
Well, it was to entertain everybody that was standing there waiting for the hanging. It literally was, because there's times where when I was a hot fan, I'd sit there and you wanted a best seat for the hanging instead of being behind somebody that's too tall or being behind somebody that stinks or
you want to be right on the
you want to be on the
barricades.
front, and you get there almost an hour before that hanging starts.
And that's exactly it. Like we would talk to people. We would get there early, and we would talk to kind of gradually talk with some of the guests. You'd be like, "Why are you so early?" And, "Oh, we want to see you guys slide."
Yep.
Like we would see repeated people from that same night. They would just keep coming back early just to watch them. Like there were some people that I know I spoke to that were like, "I just come to see you guys slide and then I leave." I don't watch the hanging.
Yeah.
They stay to the side and they watch it from the side of it, so that way they can kind of walk out and go away.
Logistically too, another problem was that impromptu slider shows would start popping up in separate areas.
Yes.
And all of a sudden you got people doing it in the middle of the street with no controlled traffic flow. That would cause risk to go up.
Yep.
Not to mention the fact that when all the monsters congregate in one area, guess what? The entire zone is empty.
Yes.
So that was another logistical problem.
Yeah, and that was because not everybody was allowed to go into the pre-show. You guys,
The slider shows. Yeah, because
So,
there was nights where I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
There's nights that we were switching people out to make so that everybody can have a chance to do it.
So it was just like people, a lot of people were just like, well, screw that. We can go do our own thing,
Yeah, and that's what they were doing.
And then the pre-show went away, and we literally did.
Here comes the kids. Yeah, the pre-show went away, and then the last show that I saw when I was still working there is 2010, when I first moved from talent to management. You remember that, Chase?
Yep.
It was we made the runway in Calico Square.
Yep.
In front of the stage.
Yep. We did rope lighting. We did trash cans. We did a lot of different stuff there. And then we had it where we were to the left of what's that old stage next to the train tracks right there, where we were coming out of the gate on the side because it was just so everybody could see more. And there was a lot of different types of runways that we did to try to make it work and make it better for everybody to see.
Yeah.
Now I guess I have to thank Knotts for nixing that show, because if that didn't ever happen, Decade Brigade wouldn't exist.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have.
You guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
Yeah, just gotta get the kids.
No, do you think? So it's been a long fun run. Meeting a lot of cool people. I went to Knott's the other night and I saw a couple of the Queen Mary guys. That were running around. We give big hugs, and that's what was cool, because you meet a lot of friends. And
some of my guys are there working too.
Oh yeah. Who?
Yeah. I got a few in Carnival.
Oh, cool.
That are running around, and they've already been on the radar in a good way.
Good.
That's good.
So I'm really happy with them, because they're doing their job and making sure they're representing themselves and Dark Harbor appropriately. They're doing they're doing their thing and killing it. When I went there opening weekend, when I saw you,
Yeah.
they were crushing it.
Yeah, what's funny is I walked over to
come here, buddy.
Boardwalk this last Saturday, and they were crushing it over there. They were. I was actually very shocked. Now with this year, the way that COVID's happened, there doesn't feel like there's a lot of talent there. But the ones that were there, they were crushing it. They were really were. But yeah, so it's been very cool to get into this industry and meet a lot of cool people and slide with a lot of cool people and still have those same friends ever since we all started it, right?
Yeah. I mean, dude, like I always say this, but I'm like one of the guys in the very beginning that helped evolve sliding from body slides to when Todd put on the skate pads. And then that's when I came and I started, okay, now I want to start trying to push my limits and doing more tricks.
Yeah. And then when you use the tomato cans or the
soup cans,
soup cans, then you turned them into sliding, and then it turned into gloves, and then it metal, and you know, it's been definitely a crazy and fun upcoming of that sport.
If you haven't and you have an opportunity to, you need to go to Six Flags, dude. Their show is very entertaining.
So Belle and I are trying to plan a day to go. I don't know. No, I think we talked, Jeremy, but you said I think that was one of the events you were trying to go to.
Yeah,
I was trying to pull him in for media night. He was supposed to go with me on the 18th for media night, and he had a wedding. So we missed out.
Hey, that happens. So but yeah. So now that if Jeremy's not coming, we're trying to figure out a night because our October's packed just because we're not working it right. So now I'm able to go to like Halloween parties and you know, go to all these other events that we're
What's
trying
that
to do.
like?
Yeah, right. So what really sucks though is like the money side of Halloween though, because now it's like I have to go buy these costumes when I've already had mine this whole entire time. Yeah. And I don't want to wear that because it just doesn't fit right.
Well, then you're also paying for the events. You're spending a lot when you're not working.
So. It's busy. It's weird too because this is my busiest Halloween season ever, right?
Yeah.
But I've already been to Knott's twice. I was at Six Flags for an entire weekend, and now I'm going back to Knott's again.
Nice. Yeah, we plan to do Knott's, try to do Knott's one more time, and then we do want to do Six Flags, and then the Hayride. We want to do those too.
Yeah.
And Six Flags, we might stay up there for the night instead of trying to drive all over.
There's a hotel right down the street. That's where I stayed. It's the Garden Inn Hilton.
Oh, okay, perfect.
So, where their slider show is, that hurt my ear.
Sorry, dude.
Where their slider show is, it's in DC Universe, and it's called City Under Siege.
Okay.
They're the only attraction there, dude, because there's construction. Yeah. But I'm telling you, if you don't watch your time, you're gonna spend all night there.
Well, then get out.
Like I walked in, and I went right to there. I was in the zone for the first hour before I moved.
Oh wow!
And I was with what's his name from Scare Squad Society, Crip Claw.
Oh yeah.
And I look at my watch. I go, dude, we should probably move because we've been here an hour already. And he's like, really? So we decided to go walk around a little bit. But that was media night. Yeah. I had free everything, and I went through one maze.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, everything's really spread out there. I mean, the event's great, but I wanted to go back and because dude, the Exile Brothers, Dude Blaze, Tricks, Jinx, all those guys, and this the clown formerly known as Peaches.
Yeah,
all those guys, they all work in that area. They're fucking insane. It's amazing.
I love their costumes and makeup. They're so prominent. Like they're so like a staple. Like every time I think of Six Flags now, I think of them. The different colors that they almost look the same, but they're different characters. And I do want to see them because my cousin actually works there now. He came and saw me at Knott's. I want to say it's 5 or 6 years ago, and he lost his mind. And that's the first time my family actually came and saw me. My sisters, brother-in-laws, my brother always comes in, my twin brother. Yeah. But everyone, my dad for the first time. Wow. My mom always usually comes every year, but my dad for the first time saw me. And I actually broke down. I started crying in the back when we were taking pictures because this is the first time my family actually saw me do this. And my cousin was with him, and he lost his mind. And then all of a sudden got him hooked on working at Six Flags. So he worked with a lot of them. Yeah, he actually goes, hey, you know that dude Blaze? I'm like...
That guy's so rad, dude. That whole group is pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah. And I said, yeah, I know he is. So I guess he was going to try to get me on his podcast because I guess he does a podcast.
Yeah, he does.
I didn't hear anything of it, but yeah. But I want to go see it because I never get the chance to go to Six Flags.
Hey, Jeremy, lock the door.
I don't have a lock, dude.
Put a sandbag in front of it or something. But no, dude, like, so I was out there. Right? I know we're getting totally off tangent, but this is what a podcast is.
Yeah.
So I was out there for the weekend, and Sunday after they closed, I actually got to hang out with them. Jackson. You know, I had a couple of drinks. They're all super rad.
Awesome. See, that's what I want to do. I want to hopefully be able to do that with them when I go and see if we can maybe grab a beer or something after we get off and go hang out with them because I would like to know because the only time I've ever slid with them is when they came down for Sliders Unite.
Yeah.
the brothers, right?
That was the second one. Yeah, the Exile Brothers.
The Exile Brothers, yeah, and they're way cool.
Yeah, they're super rad.
Yeah,
I put a couple of videos up on my stories from them.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw 'em.
Yeah, the cowbell.
Yeah,
Fucking hilarious. Just kind of gling, 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 gling.
Yeah,
You know.
But
yeah, it was totally entertaining with that shit.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to do it as much as I can this October and try to get a lot of the haunt events in that I took the year off for the baby and the new job. So
yeah, get it in while you can, man.
Yeah, and then like next year he'll be one, so hopefully it'll be a little bit easier, a lot less stressful.
Yeah.
And we'll see though. The way I'm working at Peloton right now, I'm doing very well. So we'll see depending if I get a promotion or not. By next year, it might be where I might be done. You know, I don't know. So we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Hey, buddy.
So okay, what do you see? Like, I know you said you might be done, but like, are you thinking like, okay, if I can still do it, like 20 is the hard cutoff day?
Hard
20
cutoff,
years, cutoff
20 years for sure. That's definitely a hard cutoff. But
are you sure? And I only asked that because I thought, oh, I'll do this for 5 years and I'll be done, right? Little did I know that's when things really started taking off. And here, you know, going on 33 years later, I'm still in the business.
Yeah.
You know, so
we'll see. I mean, like I said, if I do quit Knott's, I will have Decade still. Hopefully that's still going by that time, and that's what our plans are. So that'll kind of be my niche, kind of my fix of working. And if that's the case, I might be able to set some stuff up for Decade to do events during October, because we get asked a lot if we can make cameos or go work as scare talent at people's parties or people's events. And unfortunately, we all work not scary for them, so it's hard.
Yeah.
And now if I do quit Knott's, there'll be about 3 or 4, maybe 5 of us that can go do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, make some money for the team, or, you know, get paid while doing it and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, because you guys are a big group, so it's not like they can afford to pay every one of you guys.
Exactly.
It's a lump sum.
And a lot of everybody doesn't want to, you know, that one year that we almost got WB, though, that was huge. We would have gotten paid about $200 less than what we got for the whole 7 weeks of Knott's. And we were only worked 2 nights, and it was only going to be 5 weekends.
Wow.
And it was huge. Like, we were in their back lots for their events. We were going to do a full show production.
Was that that one show? I can't remember the name of it, but
they did it 1 year. They did.
Yeah, my boss from Dark Harbor, David Wally, his group actually spearheaded that.
Yeah, so they did 1 year of it, and then they never came back with anything. And
that was 2018.
2018, that's what it was.
And logistically, they just couldn't. Something happened. They couldn't do it, from what I understand.
Yeah, and then with us, we presented them with a budget. We presented them with a cost or price, and they said, "Oh no, this is perfect in the ballpark." But the downfall is they were already over $35,000 over budget.
Yeah.
And to add us on there, it would have been a lot more. So, so they said, well, no, next year we have your quote, we have this, we'll plan you guys in the budget for next year. And then they never did anything with WB again, you know?
Yeah.
So it was cool because when you say big group, a lot of us, and I had to talk to the team, a lot of us had to give up our character for that year. And a lot of them didn't want to. This was the time where Naomi was coming into her character, right, as the twins.
Yeah.
And she obviously didn't want to give that up. Trey was trying to finally finding his character. And
I think he's still in that process too, finding his character.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it would have been hard for a lot of people to say yes, a lot of people to say no.
He doesn't turn off the microphone.
Yeah.
Jeremy, turn off the mic.
So yeah, it would have been hard to get everybody to commit, because they didn't want to give up their status at Not Scary Farm or whatever event they were working. But
Dude, that screaming was so loud. Sorry, Chase.
It was. No, yeah. It's all good. No worries. Yeah, no worries, man. Yeah, so it was who's calling me from the lake?
Well, yeah, I mean, you got, like you said, I mean, like Naomi's character with her counterpart looks really good now. You know, with the faces they have.
100%, dude. Yeah.
I thought she was I mean, if Dodger was still there, I'm sure she'd still be running with him.
Yeah,
But he's working at Hayride too now. He's a tech out there.
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
John's group.
Yeah. So it would have been a rough. We would have needed at least 12 or 13 of us to do a show, and not get tired and make it look good because we wanted to impress them. Because if we were able to get in with WB every single year, oh my God, I mean that would have been huge, right?
Yeah.
It would have been huge. They saw us at I think it was Midsummer Scream, and they approached us. I talked to them. I had to break out a character for a little bit and start being, business Chase, and they loved us. They loved everything about us, and they said, "Put an offer together. We want you guys this year." Da da da, and it just fell through due to budget. But then they never came back and did another event for WB, which was I heard it kicked ass though. I heard.
Yeah,
that
it did.
was
And
awesome.
what sucks is I had the opportunity to go completely comped because I was part of the company.
Yeah.
And I couldn't because I already had something planned that night.
Man.
So some of the girls I worked with at Dark Harbor, it's like, hey, we're going here tonight. Are you free? And I'm like, no, damn. So I was bummed.
Yeah.
Would have been great to check that out.
So we'll see. So hopefully there's a lot more with COVID starting to die down with a lot more events, and if that can happen, I think the kid will have a lot more opportunities.
Yeah.
Because we did get hit up a lot before COVID happened, and we just had to deny them because we're all working.
Yeah.
And everybody wants stuff in October.
Yeah, and that's tough.
Yeah, and it's very, very tough. So, and I was trying to get the team because we don't get paid for anything. Our team, nobody gets paid on our team.
It all goes into the team fund.
Team fund for props, for shows, for lighting, for music, for merch.
Yeah.
And there's times where we're going into a show we're negative. There's times where I'd have to throw my own money into it. A lot of us.
Yeah.
And that's what I was trying to get was to get paid for it. So if we could have done WB and got hooked in there and was asked every single year to come back, we would have got paid, which that's what we wanted. That's our goal for this team, to get paid for what we do and love to do.
Right?
Yeah. So hopefully that comes up again. That was kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
I had to sit down with the team and tell them, like, hey guys, you guys really have to make a decision, because if you really want this to succeed and you want this team to go further and get paid for it, which that's what our goal was when we first started this team, you really need to make a decision on where you want to be. I'm not saying they have to quit the team, right? But I'm saying, like, when it comes October, if we're going to get paid good money and more than what you are getting at Knott's, then you got to think about it. So, but then again, like I said, we all do it for the hobby. We all do it for the fun. So, I think
and there's an allure to working at Knott's, the granddaddy hunt event of all.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I've been asked that question where it's like, would you be able to give up your character? I'm like, I'd have to really, really think about it. But if it was for an opportunity where I was getting paid more for something that I'm trying to get a future for, then I would have taken that year off at hunt and came back. And if it worked, if it didn't work, come back. If it worked, guys, we just hit our goal. It would have been. We would have been on posters. We would have been on billboards. We would have been. Yeah, we would have been on all that. So, you're not just on a YouTube channel. You're on billboards in LA. You're on billboards throughout Southern California. They would have done that. And we've actually put that into our quote, saying we want some marketing done, and we don't want to just be not said anything on the radios or said anything in, advertised. We want to be advertised. So, and they were all down for it. They were totally down for it. So,
for their event, they got to plug it.
And like I said, the industry is very small, but it would have gotten a lot more people to go to that event. You know what I mean? If they kept it going, they would have. Hold on one second, guys. I'm so sorry. Somebody keeps calling me from Lakewood. We can end it. I just want to the people that are listening to this, take constructive criticism and advice as much as you can. Right? The haunt industry is always going to be around. Don't get frustrated with it. Don't get frustrated with people. There's a lot of crazy people out there. We all know that. But take it for what it is and always have fun. Always learn, always progress. Every single year is a learning experience. No matter what, it's always going to be different. Different guests, different monsters, different talent. And, if anybody needs advice, they're always willing to contact me on Instagram, GTS Mummy, if anybody wants to. or even just hit me up on my personal pages. I know a lot of them follow me as well. So, but I want to say thank you for you guys for having me on here. It's been a pleasure and fun. Always good to chat with you too.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a while, and then with the family getting started here, and I'm going to be a lot of my time to him, and I'm excited. But
How it
I
should
will.
be, man.
I will, and obviously we'll be hanging out and talking with each other here and there. So, but I want to say thank you again, guys. It's been a pleasure being on here.
Absolutely, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and if we went into more detail, it would have been 4-hour podcast. But you know,
Yeah.
cool. Okay. I got a lot of favorite scares too that a lot of people don't know. Yeah, I'm down for that. That'd be a cool one if you had like multiple people come in this Zoom and we're all talking back and forth. That'd be cool to.
Like a round table
Yeah,
at some point.
that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard because the people that we all want in it, we're all over the place. Like, not just, I mean, he's in NorCal. You and I are down here at Chase, and you got freaking Wade in Denver, so we're all all over the country now.
Yeah, that's true. That's
So
true.
it's tough.
You know, it'd be really cool, Dieterman. Like we all sat around your fire pit,
Oh, yeah.
filmed that. That'd be pretty cool because that's kind of like a central. I mean, not
Yeah.
central for you, Jeremy, but for us, it's still kind of a drive too. But still, that'd be cool. You have a camera up filming that while we're just
Yeah.
joking around, having a few beers, and do a round table doing that. That'd be cool.
It's funny because I did a Shoot the Shit podcast with Nights of Horror at my fire pit,
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
so that was cool too.
Yeah.
But no, I'm totally down to do that. There's plenty of space. We can either sit in the pit or bring chairs and sit a little bit higher,
Mhm. That'd be
stuff
really
like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Even if you had people sitting in the pit and higher around,
Yeah.
if we had multiple people there. No.
Yeah.
But you guys do your thing. I hear my baby crying. I'm going to relieve my wife, go get you some food. Thank you guys again for doing this, and I appreciate you both.
Absolutely, dude. Good to see you.
Guys, take it easy.
Yeah.
Bye.